What's going on, guys? My name is RagingRaptor and welcome to a new video. Well, I am pretty certain in saying that if you know this map, you are probably one of the older players in World of Tanks. It's sadly a map which got removed several years ago. It didn't make it to HD, and it was one map which I personally have fond memories of, good memories of. Weird, funny stuff on it, and even some funny moments on it. However, please take my memories with a grain of salt, because I also have good memories from my duty in the Swiss military. But then I remember a little bit harder and can remember how absolute garbage the first 9 weeks of basic training were. But yeah, as you already saw from the title and from the thumbnail, Pearl River is back. This is the map Pearl River. It's, again, a really old map. It is a pretty enclosed map, and this is even one of the older iterations of the map, because in the newest iteration before it got removed, there was a fighting position in here. You could drive up here, you could drive from here, or from here up here and fight your way over here and try to flank the heavy tanks. Also, this base was removed and was moved over here. So, there was some changes to this map, and I have very fond memories still of this map. But it is back. Pearl River is back, and let's have a look at how it looks. I would, however, like to have a first glance at the overworld map, because, well, this kind of shows us the best ways where to go and what really changed. I'm also going to take this minimap prototype, which was kindly made by Phil X, the German community manager. And he said I have to point it out because he's actually very proud of it. So there you go, buddy. I know you don't watch my English videos, but there you go. And if Actinide is watching it, say thanks to Phil. So anyway, this is now the new map Pearl River. And it also looks like the base will be up here, while the other base will be around here. But then again, it is still, yeah, we can see it. They're here and they are here. Other than that, nothing really, just from the first glance, changed, or at least from my memory back there. The only real thing which changed apparently, or changed big, was this position over here. This way was added, or rather changed, in the sense of having more cover there, so you are not being able to get shot at when some people are YOLOing over here to spot you. Although it has to be said that if you are getting shot here while crossing, some people have to play rather aggressively, because, well, in the end, you can see we have some elevation over here. You have to go around here to maybe have shots over there. We might find some better pictures. You can see here, this position again, this was what was overworked or reworked, as was this position over here, with one major feature being to skip through the pictures to see what we have it. And here we have it. It's this big stone formation and interesting looking rock. Seriously, it looks like a really cool move to go down there and having some good cover from the people which are sniping over here. In general, however, it looks quite open and devoid of vegetation. However, please keep in mind this is a first iteration of the map, because not only you can see that it hardly looks anything like, how should I say, an HD map, it also looks like there's still major flaws. Like here you can look through the map, and if we have a look at the old set pieces or the houses, again, they are old. It looks like at least the set pieces from back then, nothing changed. So it's still SD models and they have to be reworked. But again, apparently Wargaming really does want to add those maps back in, and I'm really looking forward to it, because again, more maps are always a good thing, especially if this map was opened up. Some people back then said this map is a little bit annoying because it was very restrictive. Well, it's understandable. You had one corridor, you had the other corridor, and you had this kind of death zone in the middle. It's kind of a death zone. It's still better than what we have in Chinese border, to be honest. I don't really like Chinese border at all, or Empire's border, excuse me, not Chinese border. But yeah, the newest iteration again, before it was removed, also had this position in the middle, and I actually enjoyed it very, very much. You could also defend pretty decently here. You could play very, very well with TDs over here. You could also play with TDs over here. Please keep in mind, I played this map back then when I still had to grind tanks like the what's it called? The tier 5 artillery piece of the British tank line. I know the tier 6 one, but I don't know the tier 5 one, the Bishop, there we go. Or the AT-15 or Black Prince. Back in the days where those tanks, well, the Black Prince still is garbage. But the AT-15 was very, very sluggish. I also had great memories where me and a friend platooned in an E25 and there was a Tiger P down here and we just kind of made him blink out of existence because of our DPM. Nevertheless, I still really like this photograph from the top, and it will be interesting to see how liberal or how strong Wargaming enforce their invisible walls. I genuinely don't like them because they're just kind of destroying the feeling of openness of a map, but I guess it has to be done so the newly added wheeled vehicles do not break this map in half. Because then they could probably just grind up here and do some side shots if they're able to. They could go over here and get some back shots in. Because again, when we look at this minimap, you will note that this hill over here is kind of big enough that you were not able to drive up here and flank the enemies which were camping over here or back here. It was a very, very hard position to take. But again, I'm generally looking forward to. There is not really much I can say about the map. But if Wargaming is now bringing back Pearl River, I personally have high hopes that we might see other maps. My number one map I would love to see back in the game would most likely be Südküste in German or South Coast in English, if I'm not mistaken. South Coast, what? I think it is what this map was called. It's not Serene Coast, right? Yeah, it's South Coast. I genuinely enjoyed this map a lot. Like, I have to say, this is the map I had the highest damage in my Jagdpanzer 100. And it was kind of a unique map. You could drive in here and either you had a splendid game with a Jagdpanzer 100 or you got fucked. On this map, I used to play 5120. Well, it was still rather bad. Hard to play. But you could drive up here, you could snipe over here, you could do some cross shots here. You had this long beach, you had a great go down here to try and ram some people. So I would love to see this map coming back to World of Tanks. But we shouldn't forget there were also other older maps. This one here, I generally don't dislike, but apparently it was not that liked either. I don't know, I genuinely don't know what was that big of a deal, but seeing Wargaming bringing back old maps, I'm very, very much looking forward to. I would highly suggest to you all to just look up what old maps were still in the game, and if you think they should come back, let me know in the comment section below. Again, I'm personally open to most maps. I have on most maps a fond memory of. Like, Dragon Switch was the map why I bought back then a T-34, because the T-34 was just such an incredible strong tank in hold down positions, and Dragon Ridge, I don't know, it was just the hold down map ever. On Severogorsk, I have played games on where I was so close to eating my keyboard because I was so angry, because in a Jagdpanzer E100 I bounced the T30. I think it's still in my Jagdpanzer E100 meme video. Again, Northwest, we also have some fun memories where I blind shot killed an enemy tank in my headset, I think, from here to here. Yes, I played low tiers here. Hidden Village, my goodness, I had an E50M game, which was absolutely amazing on. I had an ELC AMX BIS game on this map where I solo-handedly killed a T-34 tier 8 heavy tank because I simply knew what to do and abused what I could do. But yeah, we got Province back. I'm happy to see that Wargaming Limited limited it to lower tiers. I genuinely don't dislike the map. Yes, it's kind of campy, and I have to say I highly dislike the positions down here and down here because they basically kill attacking teams because you can't spot the enemy TDs when they play semi-decently. But other than that, I do not dislike Province. It's also very fun to do some blind shot shenanigans. Ghost Town, we already got, and it's not too bad of a map. Actually, it's very good map for EBR 105, so if you see me in a stream and you want to see me play this map, if you get lucky, you just have to wish for the EBR. Comarine was rather campy, but it was really funny that only certain vehicles were allowed to drive through the middle because of the tank, I don't know what's called in English, tank barricades, I think. And lastly, Seaport, we kind of have a remake of this map, but let's be honest, it's not really the real deal. But yeah, I also remember this map was where we tested when we got the opportunity to penetrate penetrate walls and lose 25 millimeters of your AP penetration or APCR penetration. Back there was a time for the people which are rather new to World of Tanks where you couldn't shoot through cover, and Port, this map here, Seaport, was basically the map where you could use this temporary cover to its max because there were so many walls. One was destroyed, you just moved to the next and you had temporary armor again. But with the introduction of those destructible walls, which just ate 25 millimeters of your penetration, but not your shell, except if it's HE and heat, this map kind of got imbalanced, very interestingly. But personally, I would love to see all those maps to come back. And interesting enough, I'm not the only one. My dear friend Dutch Royale, which I also play a lot of World of Tanks together, yeah, he apparently likes this idea too, even though this idea is from 2016. My name is RagingRaptor. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, let me know in the comment section below. If you want to keep up to date with roughly the latest news, please consider subscribing. I am at the moment a little bit in a time crunch where I have a little time left to do YouTube with a university and a work beside me. But I try to do my best and keep you up to date as quickly as possible. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys. On to the next video.